trying jiu-jitsu. Anyway, I get in there, and they beat me up. The first thing that I'm told, and I won't call the gym out on camera, but the first thing that I'm told is like, all right, oh, you're the perfect example of the big guy in the club who's probably going to be coming at everybody. So then there was takedown after takedown, and I was like, hey, man, my knees hurt to begin with, and this is embarrassing. So I was done with it. I never went back.
And I think it's a small-minded mentality that runs rampant in a lot of gyms. And it's like, again, like if you've never trained before, of course jiu-jitsu works on a bigger person. Like it doesn't matter. Cam's neck and my neck, we get choked the same. Like it takes the same amount of pressure. My size doesn't matter. Your size doesn't matter because it's leverage. And it's a lot better if somebody comes in and says, hey, let me show you a couple of things, because then you're going to stick around.
Yeah.
Because once you get started, like you don't want to quit.
Right on.
And when you see all of us, it takes you 10 years on average to get a black belt. It's a journey. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
No reason to start off with a sprint.
Right on. So what do you think changes when a parent and a child trains at the same place, like with P and Cam?
I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's the basis of my place. I mean, when my kids were younger, like I just want to have a place where like the whole family can be. So that's what I did for myself. And so it's no surprise to me that other parents get to experience that as well. And some of my best jiu-jitsu experiences, I don't even want to say jiu-jitsu experiences, some of my best experiences in life is sharing the mats with my kids. Right. I have been to competitions and tournaments just like the one today where I competed and my daughters competed. And like, it's just great memories. And it's not even about winning or losing. One of the times I came with my daughter, it was a terrible tournament. I was supposed to fight at noon. It was 5 o'clock before I went. My kid, they put her in a bracket with a bunch of kids older than her. It was a terrible day. And I fought one dude, and he beat me on an advantage point. And we're walking out. My daughter looks at me. She goes, hey, you're going to get your silver medal? I said, I don't want that medal. That's a loser's medal. And my kid looks at me. She's 12 years old. She goes, hey, Dad, we came out here. We did our best. That's all we can do. I said,
right on.
Right? Like everything you try to instill in your child,
right there,
they spit it right back at you. And that moment just happened because of jiu-jitsu.
Right on. Understood. Yeah. So my daughter is 5 now, and I'm, seeing Cam at his young age do all this. I want to bring her and get her involved in something. And MVP posted something about how parents always want to teach their kids to fight back and everything like that. It was something on social media, but they don't do anything to encourage the kids to, get involved in something like jiu-jitsu. So if a parent's brand new and their kid is excited, to join the gym, what advice would you give the parents so they don't turn it into pressure?
That's a big thing, is let your kid have fun. Jiu-jitsu should be something you do throughout your whole life. And I see, like this, even today, competition's a huge part of your child's development. To get out there, learn how to put in work for a delayed, gratification, right? We got to put 2 months of training in before we get to get that gold medal. And you have to realize that, these young kids, they've never even experienced anything like that before. But we have to, as parents, make sure that we don't turn it into a job. It's a hobby, right? It's a sport. It should be fun. And it's important just to keep that mind, set that even if your child starts winning, don't turn it into a job.
Right.
There are no college scholarships for jiu-jitsu athletes, right? And I will tell you, as a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, the pay's not that great either. So watch doubling down on, making jiu-jitsu your entire life. It should be fun at all times.
10-4. So real quick before we wrap up, Professor Kurt, can you tell us a little bit about your coaching staff? I believe you have Coach Aaron.
I've got Coach Aaron, who was in the UFC Tough House, MMA fighter, great wrestler. I've got Professor Asif, who black belt, really great wrestler, amateur MMA fighter. Started with me when he was 11 years old.
Wow.
And I've got a handful of other folks that support our team here as well. Coach C, Coach CJ, guys that have been with me for as long as Hassan, like over 10 years. We stick together.
10-4. Well, I'm going to come by and see you if that's all right, man.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to try this again. Thank you, Coach Kurt. Professor Kurt, appreciate you.
What's the difference between gi and no gi? Well, gi, you gotta know your grips with gi. I would say no gi is like wrestling with submissions, not catch wrestling, but like BJJ with wrestling.
Now, what is this?
Oh, this is a rash guard. You gotta wear a rash guard instead of.
So what's the difference between a rash guard and a gi? What is a gi?
Well, gi.